Why does Matt Stonie stay thin, but Nikocado Avocado continues to gain weight? The reason this question is so polarizing is because we are very visceral as human beings when it comes to visuals. We know what we see and we understand things in easy to break down patterns using visual cues. In this respect, we look at Nikocado Avocado and say, well, he eats a lot of food, therefore he gains weight. But then our patterns and objective philosophies get challenged. Visually, when we see another YouTuber also eat a lot of food, yet remains thin with what appears to be a low body fat percentage, we get confused. What gives? The truth can be simplified to this one sentence. One of them eats competitively first, and the other eats emotionally first. Although simple, it sums up the entire video. Let's go ahead and dive into why this statement is true and the reason for the polarizing differences between Stonie and Nikocado. First, let's start with some background. Matt Stonie was born in May 24th, 1992 in San Jose, California. He is of Japanese, Czechoslovakian, and Lithuanian descent. He graduated from Evergreen Valley High School in San Jose, California, and went on to study nutrition and even planned to become a dietitian. But in 2010, he realized he had an amazing gift for eating a lot of food in a quick amount of time. As a 17-year-old, he entered a local lobster roll eating contest, and 10 minutes later, he won first place, netting him a cash prize of $1,000. This was the start of Matt Stonie's career in competitive eating. He would continue to complete feats that seemed unimaginable to the non-competitive eaters out there. In 2015, he dethroned Joey Chestnut in the world-famous Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, something that had not been done in over 8 years, as Joey was the undisputed king and favorite to win each and every year. Although he did not continue to defeat Joey the following years, he has amassed an impressive competitive eating record, one that has cemented him as the 4th best competitive eater in the world by the IFOCE, the International Federation of Competitive Eating. He also currently holds over 19 different eating-related world records, all this while still remaining 134 pounds at 5 feet 8 inches. Nikocado Avocado was born Nicholas Perry in, funny enough, the same year and month as Matt Stonie. Actually, just 5 days before Matt, on May 19th, 1992. What a weird coincidence. Both of their careers would involve the consumption of food, but they would choose completely different paths. Nicholas Perry majored in acting in college and even received callbacks for the Glee project. He is also a classically trained violinist and actually started his early YouTube content performing violin covers of popular songs as well as portraying his vegan lifestyle via vlogs. In 2016, however, all of this would change, as he would inform his viewers that due to his health concerns, he was no longer vegan, and shortly after this, he would begin his mukbang videos, which are videos where people eat large amounts of food and post the moment and experience on social media, just in case anyone was wondering. After this first video gained 50,000 views, that lit the spark for the rest of his career. He would continue to make these videos on an alarmingly consistent basis, posting essentially a video every month for over 6 years. Funny enough, both Matt Stonie and Nikocado Avocado both post at relatively the same rate, about 1 video a month on their main channel. Now keep in mind, both have additional channels, but Matt doesn't eat more on the other channels, as Nikocado Avocado does. Matt has a shorts channel that simply creates clips from his main channel and a gaming channel. But that's not what sets them apart, and why Matt Stonie remains thin while Nikocado continues to gain weight. Let's look at this in greater detail. Matt has a fitness and physical mobility first outlook on his competitive eating. Because to be frank, if you want to be one of the best in the world, it takes a lot of training in which you need to keep your body at a set healthy level at all times. So Matt Stonie can easily be seen outside of his videos working on strength training and cardio, ensuring that he remains fit at all times. Calories are massive during filming, but are dramatically reduced to about 2,000 calories per day outside of the videos. Nikocado, on the other hand, does not train physically and frankly uses his weight increase as a plot point for all of his continual videos. And herein lies a major difference between Matt and Nikocado. You will probably think that due to Matt's fitness and Nikocado's lack of it, it should tell you everything you need to know. And to a small and direct extent, it does. But weight management is more psychological than it is physical. And yes, sure, Nikocado suffers from addiction to food, and his endorphins fire in his brain every time he eats high sugar, highly processed foods. However, both Matt and Nikocado have rooted psychological elements that put them in different physical health while doing what, at a basic level, is essentially the same thing. What is the difference, you say? Well, it is the positive feedback loop of their respective audiences. That's right, Matt Stonie built an audience that views him specifically for how amazing it is that he eats lots of food incredibly fast while remaining fit. Those elements are all intertwined by the unwritten social contract that both Matt and his audience, though unspoken, have agreed upon. Matt is essentially incentivized to continue to eat food, lots of it, super fast while remaining thin. That is the ethos of his channel, and that positive feedback loop keeps Matt staying fit because psychologically he is rewarded for that effort. Nikocado, on the other hand, has a much different positive feedback loop. His audience watches him for the continual weight gain, the intrigue of seeing him continue to increase in mass and weight, the amount of food he eats, the astonishing amount of weight he gained when looking back. All of that is part of Nikocado's ethos and the unwritten and unspoken social contract made by him and his audience. Nikocado isn't this delusional person as many would like to point out because of his antics on screen. He is a trained actor who is self-aware of what his audience wants to see. Now, one more thing. Many of you are probably confused as to how Matt Stonie could eat 2,000 calories per day, then somehow pack 10,000 to 20,000 calories or more in a single sitting at world record speed. Well, remember when I said the cut and dry difference is that Matt Stonie is a competitive eater and Nikocado isn't? It's because competitive eating training isn't about eating as many calories as possible. Believe it or not, it's mainly about stomach elasticity, expanding the inside of your stomach to hold large amounts of food. This is accomplished through competitive eating training, which involves doing things like drinking around 2 gallons of water per day and eating large amounts of raw vegetables that are very low in calories, all for the sake of stomach elasticity. The massive calorie consumption normally comes during competition and just a few times leading up to the competition. And weight is not gained by volume consumed, but by calories consumed versus calories burned. This is the law of thermodynamics. So drinking 2 gallons of water with 0 calories will net you 0 calories consumed, but still assist in expanding the inside of your stomach. This is why I chose to use the words competitive versus professional, because in reality, both Matt and Nikocado are professionals at what they do. They eat large amounts of food and they get paid for it. The way they go about it is what creates the massive difference between the two. In the end, both Matt and Nikocado have built a following, being successful at fulfilling the social contract between content creator and viewer. If Matt was to stop working out and start gaining weight, it would be a shot in the dark to know if he would continue to have this special place in the hearts of his viewers. And unfortunately, this could also be the case for Nikocado. But with Nikocado, I hold out a bit of hope. He should take that leap of faith and attempt to become healthier. I believe that Nikocado is in a much more privileged position to change his content style, as it can bring intrigue and inspiration, seeing as his weight gain has been essentially documented. His recovery back to health would be just as fascinating, in my opinion. I hope that he also knows this to be true and gives it a shot. Not just for him, although that reason is important enough, but also for many of those who want to feel inspired, to help them see that it is possible. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't, please subscribe for more videos like this. And also, down in the description box is a link to my fitness app, where it could assist you with health and fitness, workouts, recipes, the ability to communicate with me directly for any questions, and much, much more. Hope to see you there, but for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.